Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the PowettPlay Podcast. It's me, John and Shannon. I'm joined by Kieran Powell. As always, how are you, Kai? Revved up?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Thank you very much. We've both just watched the briefing press conference post, obviously the meeting that they had. Well, what are your thoughts?
Whole lot of optics, whole lot of bullshit, a lot of talk. No, not much sense. I've now confirmed that the problem with West Indies cricket lies with the cricket committee, and by that I said by the chairman of the cricket committee. Now, the chairman of the cricket committee has been on the West Indies board for circa, let's say, 30 years.
Yeah,
He's the president of the Leeward Islands Cricket Board, and you're telling me that they would like to identify what they should suggest to West Indies Cricket Board as changes. If you don't know after 30 years what the problems are, you'll never know. You don't need
no,
a meeting to tell you what the problems are. You don't need all these people to come in and tell you what the problems are. You've been
no,
here for 30 years. This is absolute high level nonsense. It's
yeah,
just a waste of time, waste of money. And quite, quite frankly, I'm very, very worried about West Indies cricket because if it's left up to this man as the chairman of the cricket committee, who can't even operate his own sub region of the West Indies. In my time of playing for the Leeward Islands, I've seen players get banned for match fixing. I've seen players get arrested for transporting weed in their gear bag from one country to the next. I've seen a lack of opportunities for young players, and you're trying to tell me that this person is supposed to be the person responsible for taking West Indies cricket forward, and you can't even take your own region forward? You can't even manage your own region? This is West Indies cricket is in a sad state.
yeah. It is. Well, you've obviously just completely blown my head off complete with those comments. But wow. I just felt when I was watching it, it just felt so scripted and so sort of like what they want people to hear rather than the actual intrinsics of in terms of the strategy. Like they
Well,
mentioned,
they've just said a whole lot of nothing. They've
well,
just been talking and saying it's to fill a void. It's just optics. You're saying a lot of things, but you've had this meeting, and then you're saying that you need to have now another meeting for the board to dissect what was done. You should have done that beforehand and come to the public with suggestions and idea like this is what we're going to implement.
yeah, because he said
Hard, cold facts.
yeah, because he said they've got short-term plans, medium-term plans, and long-term plans. So they should have stayed. That's what the plan
What are
what
they?
are they? Yeah. So this is my short-term plan. This is it, and that's that. And we start with the short-term plan, which is X, Y, and Z. And you finish the meeting with people feeling buoyed by the idea that there's a plan in place moving forward. That and that. I just felt as though it was just again like let's just tell.
Waste of time.
Yeah.
And as I said, the hands that it's been left up to,
Well, you're
I have
concerned.
zero,
You're
I have
genuinely,
zero
that's
faith.
it. You are
I
genuinely concerned, which is an issue for me.
no,
But
I'm boiling. I'm boiling. I'm genuinely concerned about the state of not only West Indies cricket, but the person that it's left up to rectify West Indies cricket because it's going to be interesting. We'll see. I mean, everything plays out over time, but we'll see eventually how much information is divulged to the public in terms of what these suggestions are and
yeah.
how much of it is implemented actually going forward. But I've got no faith.
I'll be honest with you. I think what will happen now is I think it'll just get brushed under the carpet. They'll roll into the CPL, which starts in 4 or 5 days' time, and it'll just get forgotten about. And then obviously it'll get revisited, and there'll be no change. Because at the end of the day, one of the points that we've spoken about is obviously the president has made points about what he wants to change and things like that. But he's been in the role for a long period of time. So this isn't a case of trying to say what I'm going to do now. He should have done this when he first started. He's speaking about what he would like to do, what changes he needs to make, not after you've been in the role for the period of time that he's been in. And also, like I thought again, I don't want to speak. I thought the comment that Brian Lara made in terms of it's not about the 27. Well, it actually is about like that because this would have been brought on any other way. Like if there were concerns in the background, they should have been going on previously rather than the issue being bowled out for such a low total against Australia. It's been brought on because of that, not because of things that have been happening 2 or 3 years down the line.
And look, I don't even know what discussions had prior to this, what discussions will be had post this. It's good to hear that they sort of incorporated the current day player, as I've been suggesting and stating for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, I'm mind blown at what I've just witnessed because it's just a high level waste of money.
At what at what point do the people of the Caribbean need, when are they going to start really sort of kicking off or rearing up in terms of because they're expecting things to change, but are they going to change?
One thing I don't want the people of the Caribbean to do is to take this out on the team, to take this
Correct.
out on the players,
Correct.
because they need the support of the Caribbean public.
Yeah.
So whatever they do, however they do it, I just hope that it's not done in a manner in which people stop watching cricket, people stop going to games, people stop supporting the team, because that's the last thing
Yeah.
that is needed.
Yeah.
Address administration, make sure that change happens. Hold people accountable in those positions, because then if those people are held accountable, then the players in turn can be held accountable once everything is in position for their performances.
But I think that's the point you're mentioning there about accountability. Is there actually any accountability?
Well, I don't know who CWI is accountable to. I don't think that they are accountable to anyone but the shareholders. Whether they take on that accountability is something completely different.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. That was a hard listen. I don't know how I feel right now.
Well, I can tell. Well, I can tell that how you feel is obviously flat about it, and it's obviously quite, you know, emotional for you to, the way that you speak, and then obviously the frustrations that you've got, which is hard to, it's hard to listen to. But I appreciate the honesty that you're speaking how you're speaking and things, because it must be very, very hard to, to listen. We've been speaking in the day about, this tonight starting, and sometimes you're probably listening to it hoping to hear something positive in a way of like, okay, well, they've all got together and this is the plan that's moving forward and this is the strategy. But obviously you're left with, no clearer idea whether when it started.
On the positive side, the team won yesterday. So
Yeah,
series
let's go into
series is
that.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a positive performance. It was.
100%. I think that, we sort of identified that spin would play a big
Yeah.
part. And, you could see if it were a 50 over game with Pakistan having, a few more overs of Nawaz and Abra in particular,
Yeah.
it could have been a bit tricky. I do think that, obviously West Indies were in a bit of a tricky situation as well, but Justin Graves and Roston,
Off the
who's
back of
having a
it.
very good series with the bat,
Yeah.
managed to stitch together what became not only a crucial partnership, but a match-winning partnership.
Yeah.
But I also have to commend Shea, obviously
Yeah.
setting that platform up front.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for him, didn't go on and get, a match-winning 60, 70 not out.
Yeah. I thought
But
he was good at me with the ball. It
yeah,
was a decent delivery.
yeah, yeah. And I think that, Sherfane and Rutherford added a lot of much needed impetus and really highlighted the fact that the West Indies shouldn't allow Saim Ayub and Salman Aga to bowl to them, Those are two guys that the West Indies should really look to take down. And he really put them under pressure and forced Pakistan to bring back their bowlers earlier, which what it sort of worked in the West Indies' favor, because imagine if those main spinners had, let's say, 4 overs each left
Yeah.
to bowl to a Roston and a Justin to the end, as opposed to maybe two each. But I think even more importantly than that is the continued development and growth of Jaden Sears and Shamar Joseph in the white ball format.
Definitely,
I
yeah.
think that they're showing signs now that they're really making positive strides towards understanding the different lengths and
Yes.
skill sets required for 50 over cricket. And this is only a benefit to West Indies because you're now seeing them build a bowling group similar to what Australia has in a Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood in Joseph times two,
Yeah.
and Seals being able to, obviously work across at least two formats, so that takes a lot of pressure
Yeah.
off of I guess selection. And Jediah Blades also impressed as well, a lot better in the second game than he was in the first game. So the continued improvement
Gonna say,
holistically from the team. Morty looks to be confident again. He looks to be enjoying his bowling. I'm not sure what's happening from the standpoint of the pitches. We played against Australia on some very seam friendly wickets and now playing against Pakistan and some very spin friendly wickets. So
yeah.
I'm not sure who in the Caribbean hates the West Indies cricket team,
Gonna say,
but it would be nice for the batters to get some good tracks and be able to get some confidence and some scores as well, because people would be chastising them for not scoring runs, whatever the case is. But the wickets haven't been in their favor at
no,
all. So
no.
hopefully the last game. I know there's a bit of weather around in Trinidad as well, but hopefully the last game it could shape up in a way that there's good sunshine today, and the pitch gets flattened out a bit, and they can go in and get a better score.
Yeah, I thought it was just a really well-rounded team performance. I thought the bowlers picked up wickets at those key moments as well, and there was just a bit of a partnership building. They stuck to some good plans, which is really good to see. And then from my perspective, the batting side of things, again, I thought Shea was ticking over nicely. I did think he got a good in there, and then obviously Roston and Shafane did yeah. I thought it was good positive cricket and a good positive outcome of the game, which is what we wanted really after the first one.
I think what must be highlighted as well is, we spoke about Shea using his bowlers better in terms of switching ends,
Yeah,
the amount of overs you give them so that batters aren't settled against them.
yeah.
And it's as if I was speaking directly to his ears because he instantly implemented that, and it looks so much better from a team standpoint, to see bowlers bowling from different ends, batters always having to adjust and readjust to the different bowlers. I mean, obviously it's the same bowler, but coming from a different end, the wind might be doing something different,
Exactly.
which gives
Yeah.
you something different as well to think about. So, very, very well done holistically, not just batting, bowling, but the captaincy as well was spot on as well. So,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, really lots of positive to take out of that. Like I said, I think going into the third game now, I think that the advantage would be, from my opinion, it will be with West Indies because I just think they were just developing a bit more of a momentum going into that game, which is again what we discussed we wanted to see and things. And there's been some positive. I think I'd just like seeing that third one for someone to go and get a big score if they can. We still I know obviously with the way that the weather fell and stuff, it would be nice for someone to go and get three figures as well. But from that bowling unit that you mentioned upon there, I think they're building something really good there. And it's some really good positives for Jaden Seals and Shamar Joseph that they're changing the length, which you've spoken about quite a bit on here. It's brilliant to see that development and that change in somebody's game.
Well, I mean, in terms of getting a big score, as you related to there's only been probably 4 or 5 half centuries across the series. It's been very difficult
Yes.
in terms of batting on these pitches. So I think for me, more so than anything, if the conditions remain the same, if the West Indies in particular can have two guys getting 70, 80 plus,
Yeah.
then that's sort of leading you into a position of comfort to go and bowl and win the match. If somebody gets 100 on these pitches, then you know definitely you should win the game because that's setting you up and
Yeah.
controlling one end so that
Yeah.
the other guys can play a run for a long period of time.
Yeah. Did the track play what you thought it would under the like with the being under the covers and a bit of dew early on? Or did it play a bit better early on than you thought?
I thought that, I mean, obviously I knew it was gonna seem about
Yeah.
swing, but I thought that it spun a lot more than I would have expected it to spin.
Yeah.
I saw now as, for example, pitching some balls on middle and leg and
Yeah.
missing the button by a long way, So
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to spin that much.
No.
And as you saw, Pakistan only went in with two seam bowling options and
Yeah.
four spin bowling options. And I think it's going to be pretty much the same. And it's going to be whichever team wins the toss, gonna choose the option of bowling first and bat themselves to get whatever as the pitch sorts of gets better
Yeah.
throughout the day. So
Well, you could tell the one how much it was turning with the dismissal of Mohammed Ridwan of Motis. He looked so straight. If anything, it was middle and leg, and then he went to umpire's call, clipping off, and that showed how much he was turning.
yeah, 100%. So it's as I said, it's interesting that every team we play against, it seems to be that the conditions are what they would be, I guess, familiar with.
Yeah.
Not what you expect from home conditions. You look at England playing baseball, for
Right. Yeah.
example. All of that is predicated on them playing on flat pitches. So you've seen that's why they've sort of asked Jimmy Anderson to retire because it's not going to be something that's going to be conducive to his skill set. You need faster bowlers
Yeah. Yeah.
hitting the pitch harder as opposed to swing bowlers. So it's just I'm just hoping that they can get sort of conditions that favor them more, which hopefully would allow them to win more games. But series on the line here, I think that win yesterday took them to ninth position now, which is where they need to be to automatically qualify
Yeah.
for the World Cup. So hopefully another win and a few more wins coming up could give them that berth that they're seeking at this point.
Yeah, and like we spoke about after the first ODI, it's about this consistency now. It's building that momentum, figuring out the roles, and a bit of consistency with that batting lineup, consistency with the bowling. People figuring out what they've got to do from a role perspective will naturally see that consistency increase, and that's when you start to see those results come in. Really,
Yep.
yeah. Anything more to speak about?
No, I need to go and take a cold shower and cool down.
I'm gonna say you definitely do, yeah. No, but I do. Going back to the main point, obviously, at the start of the show, I do think that I appreciate you speaking so openly and honestly about it because it's something we passionately care about a lot, and it takes a lot to speak out, and I do appreciate it, and as do our viewers, no doubt, is hearing it from yourself speak so openly about the frustrations of Cricket West Indies in general.
Most passionate, yeah. One of the most passionate things I can ever talk about in my life is West Indies cricket, as I've said before. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us on another episode of the PowettPlay Podcast. As I finish, as always, please keep liking, please keep subscribing, and Karen will go back to any questions that you have. But thank you so much, and speak to you all soon.